I've come into the library here at the new Entrepreneur Circle headquarters. So I'm going to talk about books. I don't click off because I know that as entrepreneurs, reading a book, it's a big flipping deal because it takes like several hours at least, and some of them longer than that, to get through. It's a major commitment to read a book. And there are so many books and people really know you should read this one, you should read that one. Well, let me tell you, I have made my way through just over 1,000 business books since I started my entrepreneurial career well over 20 years ago now. The truth is, if it's been published in the last 30 years, chances are I will have read it. Some of them I've not gone all the way through, I'm not going to lie. I've binned them off. There are so many business books out there, and knowing which ones to read, which ones will make a difference, that's the tricky bit. And so in this video, I thought it'd be helpful if I shared with you just five of the most effective and useful books that I have ever read. These are books that have all genuinely helped me on my entrepreneurial journey. They've helped me to grow my business, and they are books that I have studied, that I have applied, what I've taken from them, and I've gone back to in each case multiple times again and again. They've helped me to build in total 15 separate £1 million plus businesses, all right here in the UK. So let's get stuck into them, shall we? First up, book number one is this one from a guy called Dan Kennedy, someone you may have heard of. I've got to know him pretty well actually over the last 20 years since I first bought this book. This is the best book he's ever written. This is the No BS Guide to Time Management for Entrepreneurs. It's called the Ultimate No Holes Barred Kick Butt Take No Prisoners Guide to Time, Productivity and Sanity, which as an ambitious young entrepreneur starting out, that's what I was really looking for. Oh my God, a guide to my time, my productivity and my sanity. And I definitely found it in this book. It's had by a country mile the single most impact of any book I've ever read on my business. I think the thing I took from it, the most important fundamental, was this realization that as entrepreneurs, we are different to lesser mortals, to people that are employed or who have a job, and we have to think about and indeed use our time differently to the way that normal people do it. And this book gave me not just the clarity to understand that, but the techniques to actually deploy it. One of the key ways I applied it in my business, and the thing I got from Dan reading this, was this importance of linking what I'm doing right now, this minute, with my goals. And this conscious thought of, is what I'm doing today, is it moving me towards where I need to be? Because so many business owners, well, we get stuck, don't we? We get drowned out by the weeds, we get stuck in the day-to-day. And this book gave me the clarity, both in terms of why it was so important to escape that, but also the techniques to do so. It's a really, really brilliant book. And I think probably the practical tip I would offer to you from the book is the importance of blocking time. I took it and started to use it as my 90 minutes. If you know anything about my business, you'll know that everything we've achieved, which is considerable over the last 20 years, it's all been achieved in 90-minute chunks. The importance of putting aside 90 minutes of uninterrupted time each day to work on the things that will move your business to where you want to get it to, all came from here. It's a really, really great book. Second book, also a book that's just over 20 years old. It's called Don't Make Me Think by a guy called Steve Krug. And this book, honestly, this book should be on the national curriculum. Like, all our kids should emerge from formal education with an understanding of what in this book. It's not a particularly long book. It's got pictures and stuff in it. It's a really nice way to read is this book. But what this book is all about is helping us as entrepreneurs to think much more clearly like our customers. Now, it's the book looks at things from a website perspective, and it's all about making your website way more easy to navigate and for people to understand. And there's methodologies and techniques in here that will help you think like your customer way more effectively than you ever thought possible. And that on its own is a good reason to have it. But I think the big thing I took from this book, I'm an effective communicator, but I'm a much more effective communicator because of what I took from Steve Krug in this book. I think about my audience, whether I'm sketching out a web page, crafting a video, whether I'm writing an article. I'm way better at thinking about my audience than most people are. as a result of what I got from this. So highly recommend this one. Don't Make Me Think, the updated version now revisited by Steve Krug. It's an absolute cracker. You will get a lot from this, no question whatsoever. So having had two 20-year-old books as my first two, I've gone even further back with book number 3. This book was first published in 1984. You've probably heard of it if you've been around any kind of personal development space or business space in the last 40 years. It's called Influence. It's by a guy called Robert Caldini. And this has become the definitive work. It really opened my eyes massively at quite an early stage again in my entrepreneurial career as to how I could use marketing and what I should look at in terms of my positioning and my messaging to persuade people to do whatever it is that I wanted them to do. I'm not a psychologist. I don't understand psychology at all, other than what Caldini kind of taught me in here. And it's unquestionably made my marketing way more effective. We've become quite good at marketing things here at Entrepreneur Circle over the last 20 years or so, and a lot of that is underpinned by Caldini's teachings in this book. Quite a heavy read, this one. It's going to stretch your brain a little bit, but I go at my books with my highlighter pens and pull out the bits that I need, and the depth you'll get from this, it will equip you. You become much more professional in the way that you think about your marketing and your selling. I also start to understand as well from this book, it's the first time I grasped the importance of the likability factor. People buy from people, and people, all things being equal, will buy from people that they like. And a lot of elements in there, and again with techniques and strategies that you can utilize to make yourself more effective in your market. But this one is going to take you a bit longer to read than my first two, but worth it. Now, my fourth book, I had to have in there, I think, a very direct book around selling. And the one I've chosen is Jeffrey Gitomer's Sales Bible. Now, again, Gitomer, someone I brought Gitomer to the UK. We've put him on our stages in the past. Someone that I respect hugely. He is an American, but we really mustn't hold that against him. I could have chosen any one of 5 or 6 of his books to put into this top 5, but this is the one. This is the Sales Bible. Gitomer's roots are in selling and as a salesperson, and he articulates and communicates the techniques that he utilizes and that you can utilize too in such an accessible, easy to understand form. It's a really, really good book to read if you get a little look here. Lots of big words and phrases and cartoons and pictures and stuff. So a nice, easy book to consume. But for all of us in business, the truth of it is that our success will depend to a lesser or greater extent on our ability to sell whatever it is that we've got. And the tools in this book made me a better salesperson, and I believe they'll do the same for you. So the Sales Bible, I think, is an appropriate title for this. And wherever you're at, even if you feel you're very accomplished and have had lots of training in the past, I bet you still get stuff out of Gitomer's book here. And certainly anyone that's not had any sales training or is coming into entrepreneurship, a little bit scared of the S word, because some people are, we don't like selling. Get into Jeffrey through his Sales Bible, and you'll feel a lot more confident, and you'll be way better equipped. Which takes us to book number 5, the final book, and in that regard, the most modern of the 5 that I have chosen. Again, if you know me and you've been around Entrepreneur Circle for any length of time, then this won't come as a surprise to you. This is Mike Michalowicz's book, Profit First. And again, in choosing, I only had 5 books to choose, remember, so I looked at different aspects and elements of business, and this one is the one I've chosen to help you tackle the numbers, because business is a numbers game, and as entrepreneurs we tend to be a bit more creative, and our numbers is not our natural space often, and Michalowicz helps make it so with this book. Now it's a nice, accessible, easy book to read, very specific steps to follow. What I took out of this was this understanding that we can kind of use jam jars, as it were, different bank accounts for different things. And in particular, the most meaningful thing it had on for me was that I set up, amongst other things, a profit account into which I moved my surplus cash at the end of every month. And the profit account grew over time. And one of the reasons why we're in our fabulous new building right now is, in truth, thanks to this book from Mike Michalowicz, because we had a sufficiently large balance on our profit account that we could take the steps and make the commitments and sign the contracts, confident in the knowledge that we had the money to do so. And as business owners, often what happens is, by default, success becomes meeting payroll and paying the bills this month. And we lose sight, and we're not very good typically at remunerating ourselves and taking money out of the business. And this has the whole focus here is on your profit. It puts profit first, as it says in the title. And again, the earlier in your entrepreneurial career you kind of grasp this and start to implement the things that Mike talks about, the bigger the benefits will be for you. Many, many hundreds of our Entrepreneur Circle members have adopted the principles of this book. We brought Mike Michalowicz over from America and put him on the stage at our convention a couple of years ago. And so many people in EC have this book. And if you haven't got it, and if you haven't read it, I really would commend it to you, because it's a very worthy member of my top 5 business books to help you move your business forward. Oh, and if you're a business owner and you're still not using AI in your business, well, no book at all can help you with that. But an earlier video I've done on this channel, Get Ahead in the New Era of AI, has 4 very practical, supremely practical, really useful ways that you could start using AI right now in your business to save time, make better decisions and grow faster. And in many ways, it's better than those books.